one of the first milestones you're going to achieve in your handstand journey will be the press to handstand. And honestly, in the beginning, it doesn't even matter how you do it. Even if you're doing it with bad form, it's still an amazing feat. But of course, the better form we have means that we can do it more effectively and consistently. And in today's video, I'm going to teach you 3 essential drills to master your straddle press. But before we get into it, I made a whole video talking about the preparation to the press so your body can be ready when it comes to the flexibility and strength requirements. So check it out if you haven't done so already. So have you ever wondered where the power comes from when you're in a handstand? Where can we exert the most strength? This is an important question to ask because when we are pressing, it requires a lot of strength. And once we understand where the power comes from and where to apply strength the most effectively, then training will make a lot more sense. So where is our power the most effective? It is actually when we achieve a good stack with our body or follow a vertical line if you're looking at your body from the side. So when we press, our first and immediate goal will be to stack our body in a vertical line. And one of the easiest ways to start training this is begin by having our legs in an elevated position. So let's take a look at how that's done. So here we are, this is the elevated press. When we put our feet and legs on a higher platform, it makes things significantly easier because the stack will be much shorter. So you can use anything like a chair or a stool, something around hip height would do. So the first step is you put it behind you and hands on the floor, chest facing the stool or the platform. Bring your feet on top. You want to point your toes so that your feet can slide off easier, and then slightly walk your hands back to a point where you feel a little bit of compression in your hips and your legs. From here, you push tall with your shoulders and you start to lean forward, drag your feet off the chair, and open your legs as wide as possible, and you get a nice stack. From here, you extend your legs all the way up, hold here for a few seconds, and then you come back down, and then you go back to the chair again. Here we are, and then we do a few more. Try to get the best line as you can because that'll be the lightest place. Go back to the chair. So notice my shoulders are leaning forward a lot because I'm trying to do that along with the compression to bring my legs off the chair, which will be more accurate when you do it without the chair. So this is the elevated press. Moving on to our next drill, press negatives with ankle weights. If you've ever watched my previous video on the press preparation, then you might already know the press negative. It is basically when we do a press backwards, starting in a straight handstand, and then opening our legs into a straddle and slowly descending. And in our next drill, we're gonna do the same thing except with added weights to our ankles. Ankle weights are a great tool to use when building strength and conditioning in our handstands. So let's take a look at how it's done. So in our last video with the preparation to press, we talked about the press negative. And here we're basically doing the same thing, but with ankle weights. So let's put these ankle weights on. I'm not sure how heavy these are. They're probably 2 to 3 pounds, I would assume. They're not too heavy. And I wouldn't suggest you starting with something too crazy. Maybe 2 to 3 pounds or 1 kilo would be good. We're not aiming to get our legs to be the strongest, but just adding a little bit more pressure to our legs and compression when we're lowering down so that our shoulders can withstand that pressure and build strength in the planche range. Okay, so let's go up and give it a try. So you will go up the same way, and then you will slowly open your legs, and then slowly plunge, 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 plunge. Drop your legs as slow as you can. Okay, so let me try it again. Start here. This should be your lightest place, and then once you drop your legs, it will just get heavier and heavier. Compress, lean forward, and basically you want to go as slow as you can so that the weight has the most impact on your descent. Ankle weights will just help you to build that necessary strength in your press. And once you're strong enough, it's time to take things one step further. So far, we've been doing a lot of negatives, and the next drill, we're gonna stick with the same theme, except with a little twist. So now we're gonna do another press negative, except this time, you're gonna go down and go back up. So it really depends on how strong you are. If you are strong, you can go all the way down, almost touching the floor, and then bring yourself back up. If not, you can go just past a little bit horizon and then come back up. So let's give it a try. So we're gonna go down, 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 past horizon, and I'm gonna planche my shoulders forward. I'm almost gonna touch the floor here and lift myself back up. So this would be one of the more advanced versions. If not, we can simply stay here, a little bit of planche, and then go back up. Again, a little bit of a planche compression, and then push, open your shoulders, lift your legs at the same time, and then we come back into this position here. So when we're doing this, we're really replicating that press route. This will give you one of the most accurate representations of what the press feels like and looks like. Give it a try. And now we've got one more drill left, and this one might be the hardest one of all. We're gonna press up from the floor with a little help of yoga blocks. So the previous drill, we covered the upper 2/3 of the press. And now we're gonna address the lower third of the press, which is usually the hardest. And now we're gonna supplement it by having some blocks so that we're not facing the problem full on 100% yet. We're giving ourselves a little bit of a handicap. All right, so yoga blocks would do just fine. Place it under your feet. You can have your legs open or together, it's really up to you. Hands in front. You don't want your hands too far in the front because it's hard to compress, or you don't want your hands too close to your feet because it'll be just really hard to lift your legs up. Somewhere in between where you feel comfortable. This is just something you have to try and feel out for yourself. So for me, this is about right. I'm gonna lift my toes, lift my heels, point my feet, lean forward, and I'm gonna lift my feet up like that. And then when I come back down, I want to touch the blocks again. So you're doing the press and the negative in one set. Let's try that again. Hands in front, lean forward, lift your heels, point your feet, compress, compress, compress. Lift, lift, lift. The higher you lift, the more you stack, the easier and lighter it gets. All right, so let's go back down. So now let me show you what usually happens. What usually will happen is that when we go up, our shoulders will fail to open and our shoulders get stuck in front and everything gets super heavy. So it's really important you remember to open your shoulders as your hips stack on top. The higher you go, the more your shoulders need to be in the middle. So we want to establish that basically right off the bat so that our foundation is solid. All right, it's a bad example here. All right, so let's try shoulders forward, forward, they stay forward, right? A lot of people do this because it gives them this sense of power. But when they close their legs, they're gonna now be here. All right, instead we wanna be all the way back here, right? So So that's just the importance of the stacking. No matter how much strength you have, I don't care if you're super strong, if your technique and coordination is lacking, the press will not work as efficiently for you. So focus on good technique. So if you find yourself having a little trouble here in this press drill, it is totally normal, no worries. But make sure you're doing all the preparation work and the previous drills at a sufficient level. And then when you try this drill, it will just be that much easier. Don't skip out on the basics. So I really hope these skills can help you achieve your first press to handstand. The press is one of those moves that once you learn how to do, it'll be hard to forget. If you have any other tips that help you learn the press, please leave a comment below. And as always, thank you for watching the videos. If you want to support me, please hit like, hit that subscribe button, and leave a comment below. And if you're interested in training with me, I'm offering online one-on-one coaching on Zoom or custom programming. Visit my website for more information. Happy training.